your thoughts on Eastern North Carolina barbecue?
Is there any other? Is there other barbecue?
A lot of places.
I have been a lot of places, yeah. It's by far the best. My wife's from Lexington, North Carolina. I would have a slight argument with her over that, but Lexington would be the second best. But the Eastern North Carolina is by far the best. I don't even think it's a contest. And then I don't think there is any other. I really don't, because when all the guys from Texas came, they talked about Texas barbecue, and that's roadkill. I grew up in the western part of the state, and that's really the Tennessee barbecue, and it's okay. It's just not barbecue. It's just another dish. It's not in the same league, but that's probably why I'm about 12 pounds overweight right now, because there's so many good barbecue places here.
Or why you keep coming back.
And maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's the reason. Yeah. So, all right, how we doing, guys?
So, y'all executed well in the overtime and
Yeah.
2-point plays. I know y'all work on that a lot, so
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
Well, you're always happy when you succeed, and so after the game, I'd say we were all pretty happy about that too. But I thought we played well, really. Period. It was a low possession game again. I don't know how we keep getting stuck with that low possession game. We had the ball officially 9 times, but one of them was with 19 seconds to go in the half, so that's not much of a possession. So we had 8 possessions, scored 4 times, in the regular part of the game. The thing that bothered me was we, had on the 2-yard line and we didn't score, and we went for it on 4th down, which I thought that was the right decision to go for it. We didn't think we were going to win kicking field goals that night. We were really thinking it was going to be a little bit more of a scoring game. So, but yeah, the thing I guess that we were probably as coaching staff we were so excited about was, we'd struggled a little bit with the close games. We had lost 2 games that we feel like, you always feel like, oh, we should have won, but that's not always true. I don't feel like we should have won the Tulane game. I mean, they whipped us that day, I thought, But there were 2 other games we thought we had the game won, and they were close, and you don't want to be that team that can't win those close games because, that's what you're going to face right now. So to win a close game and see the kids respond and play well with pressures on like that, that's pleasing. That's really pleasing.
After a lot of success in that game and obviously through the overtime periods, what do you think the confidence is like out with the team right now? You guys get set to go.
Well, they're a confident bunch, during the week anyhow. You know what I'm saying? The kids always think they're pretty good, and we want them to think that way. So I think winning a close game, the next time you get in that situation, though, you do kind of go back to feeling good about, okay, we've been here before. I think the hard work, we practice hard, coach drives them hard. I think that should give them confidence, that they've earned, the right to go out there and win the game. So we have a really good opponent this week. I mean, I know that sounds like coaches speak and all that stuff, but we're playing a really good football team this week. So we'll have to have our confidence because they are a very confident group. So we'll have a standoff right there. But I think we're going into it feeling like, yeah, we can win. I think we feel like we can win every game, and we could have won every game. I think we've had one game we went out there and got whipped. I think the other games we all felt like we had a chance to win them. So we're going to find this out this week because it's a good team right here in all phases.
What do you see from that defense? Because, they've only given up 20 points in one game. Wow.
Yeah, it's a horror movie watching it. You're getting ready for Halloween. It's like, watching the tape of them. I think they're giving up 14.3 points a game, and that's not many. That's not many, especially in today's football. They're just they're good up front throughout the whole D-line. Defensive ends are super athletic. They play hard inside. They're strong as they can be, and they've got depth. A lot of people, that's the one thing I will say, in our league, we have a lot of good teams, a lot of good defenses, but there's not a lot of depth. I think it probably hurt Memphis a little bit. We wore them down. They didn't have a lot of depth. This group's they roll them, they keep them fresh, so you're not going to be able to wear them down. You're going to hope you don't get wore down. The linebackers, they're really a 4-2-5 defense, so they play 5 DBs with a nickel in there as a regular base defense. The 2 inside linebackers are just so smart. They read the thing. They can know your blocking schemes. They'll be really fast to the ball. They're very physical. The DBs are long. They run fast. Those are all the things that you want in DBs. So the strength of the defense is they don't give up many points. They play great in the red zone, and that's what they did last year. Last year was a game that we felt like we had a great chance we could have won that game. we didn't score when we were in the red zone. I don't know, we had about 400 yards, I think. We didn't have enough points because we settled for 2 field goals when we had first and goal, and we fumbled on the 10-yard line the very opening drive. And so that's where they're good. They might bend a little bit. You know, you might get something on them, but they are really stingy about letting you in the end zone.
You talk about close games and how we just got over a close game and
Yeah.
winning last year against UCF when we didn't win. What have you taken from that loss to be able to help us succeed this weekend?
Well, I think we know we got to have a good plan in the red zone because we know how good they are. They were good last year. They're doing that again this year. So, again, I just think you always grow from any experience. So the team being in that situation and winning a close game, I think gives them belief. You know, Stephen mentioned the 2-point plays. We do practice those a lot because of the new rule change. We knew that could be a possibility, and luckily we had enough plays. You know, thought we were going to run out of plays, so we'll have to recycle one. The odd thing is that we ran the 1 2-point play, and that was the one we were going to run first. Kind of had that planned out, and then they got the ball and they scored, and the play I was going to run next, I was like, they just ran our play. I mean, they literally ran the same friggin' play. It had a small adjustment to it, and I was like, and coach was like, well, are you going to stick with it? And I was like, well, I got to figure their defense probably wasn't watching anyhow. They're probably over on the bench getting water or something. So we ran the same play, and we scored on it too. So, as we're going down, I was like, how many plays we got? And we got to the very last one. I still had about 3 left, and Holton didn't like the one I was going to call. He's like, nah, something, whatever. And, well, you don't want to call play your quarterback don't want to run. I mean, even if he's wrong, okay, if he's right, but you don't want to run. If he don't believe in it, you better not call that play. So he actually said, remember we were talking about this play, and I was like, all right, we're going to do it. All right, we'll do it. And, yeah, it was pretty good by Holton, so maybe we should hire him.
So is that a conversation on the phone that you guys are having between that's all on the phone?
Yeah, well, we were able to talk a lot. And then actually, though, when we got our chance to go, I was talking to Coach Houston and Coach Scott and saying, let's do this so he's prepared. And he was like, they're like, he didn't look very good on that one. I was like, all right, he didn't like that play. And they were like, no, he don't want to run that play. So I said, well, we better not run that one then. So I said, what does he want to run? And I want to throw it to CJ. No, he didn't say that. But the play had a chance to throw it to CJ, and he did. So that was pretty good. So good players make you look good.
Coach, there hasn't been, I guess the past couple of weeks, just teams aren't really blitzing all that often. I guess I'm curious, after last week's game, if you guys as an offense maybe figured out how to just move the ball when you see a lot of coverage?
Well, I think that everybody has their scheme, and they're either a blitz scheme, like our defense is kind of, they depend on that, or they're not, and they all do a little bit of both. I think, though, I think the people saw the South Florida, and that's what they were doing. And they were playing all the man coverage. So I think everybody thought, well, but that happened to be Tulane's defense anyhow. But it worked. It worked successfully keeping us from scoring. So you think, well, it's a copycat deal. It's hard not to watch what's succeeding against somebody and not think, well, that's a pretty good idea. We could do that. We have that in our package. So I think we do a nice job with the blitz. So I think we've done that all year long. The pass protection has been the most improved thing we've done offensively probably. There's some other things, I guess, but that really has stood out in my mind. We've done a better job. Holton has a lot to do with that because he is able to put us in different protections. He's able to change protections. He can read almost every blitz. And I think people know that. I think they think, well, he's going to be hard to fool, and if you don't, when you blitz, if you don't fool the offense a little bit, then you're very vulnerable. And so I think he's hurt him. He scared him a little bit from that. So Central Florida's not a huge blitz team either till they get down into the red zone. And they're really good at it down there, though. So you always have to be prepared that they might just say, well, we're so darn good at it down here. Why do we keep waiting? Why don't we just start doing it up here? So we'll be ready for it.
When you do see that, obviously Rajay was kind of your best blocking guy.
Yeah.
How has Keaton progressed this year with his blocking?
Well, he's really improved. He really has improved. Rajay, is bigger, okay, so that gives him some advantage over that. But Keaton's done a nice job with that. He's cut guy. He can go block him low a little bit too. He's pretty good at that. That's the thing I was talking, I guess, about when Marlon got the chance to play at South Florida. The thing you worry about is with a young freshman running back, You know, they've never blocked anybody. They've never had pass protection. You know what I'm saying? And he did a nice job in that. So he's got the big body. So Camaro could do the same thing. He's got the big body too. So he could be a valuable asset if it turns into that type of game.
Y'all are entering the 8th straight game without an open date.
Yeah.
Obviously, you get pretty banged up. So how do you go about managing that? Guys are having to practice, play through pain, but also get the work in.
Yeah, that it's something we've discussed quite a bit, and it is a grind. And 8 straight weeks is a lot. You add 4 weeks of preseason camp, and we practice hard. We practice physical because that's who we are. And I think Coach Houston has said many times to me, as we've discussed things, he's like, anytime I've ever gotten away from what I really believe in, it's bit me. And he believes in hard physical practices and getting the team ready like that. So we don't get away from it very much, but we have cut back as far as the time out there a little bit. And there's a few other things we maybe have pulled off with a little less contact. Some of the guys that are beat up get less. They're getting less reps. We're trying to bring that other group along. We were talking about the Brock Spaldings, those guys getting some chances to play, other guys getting in. We're trying, and we're doing that by getting them in practice, letting them get more reps so that they'll be comfortable, we'll feel comfortable with them. So it's been a deal where there's been a couple of weeks that we weren't sure if a guy was going to play or not, you know what I'm saying? And Herb's done a good job, like I say. He's put them back together again and taped them up and, sent them back out there, and they've done good because the kids want to play. Not everybody wants to practice, but everybody wants to play. So sometimes, I don't know, between Wednesday's practice and Saturdays, the aspirin kick in, I guess, a little bit. I don't know. They start feeling better.